I remember accepting Jesus at a young age. So my life before Christ, I can't remember a lot of it, but I do remember the moment of salvation, even though I'm pretty sure I was only like 5. I was really young. But I remember being in the car with my parents, and I grew up in a Christian home. I knew who Jesus was from church and from talking with them, but I knew I hadn't accepted him as my savior. And I remember being in the car, driving with my parents, I'm not sure where, but I remember thinking, I know I need Jesus, and I know I'm not perfect, and I know that I need a savior, and I know what Jesus has done for me, and I want my life to be for him. And I remember going home that night and knowing that I wanted to be in heaven with the Lord and kind of having a really childlike understanding of salvation. But I remember praying with my mom and asking Jesus to come into my heart and kind of marking that day as this is my commitment to follow God. In middle school and high school, I was still feeling like I was having a hard time feeling that closeness to God, and I hadn't quite hit college yet where I felt that deep transformative change. And so I was struggling with self-confidence, I was struggling with friendships. I felt stuck in sinful habits that I didn't want to do, but kept making poor decisions and felt frustrated and honestly even angry with God. Why are you allowing this to happen to me? Why can't I get out of these sinful habits that I'm doing? And I just felt like I didn't have a lot of hope in that way. And it wasn't until that first year of college when I really started to own my faith and I really started pursuing Jesus that the Lord shared with me a truth that I will probably never forget. And it was just this idea of, it's not that I just don't want to sin. It's not that I just don't want to do these things. Instead, I have to replace that with a desire for godliness. And I have to replace that with seeking the Lord. And that my relationship with him, as I pursue that, I just don't want the sin as much. And I don't want to do the things that are against God's heart. It really changed my life in that way and led me to one of my favorite verses of probably all time, I think. But in Psalms 37:4, it says, "Take delight in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart." And it's really easy. It's one of those verses you could just look at and say, oh, God's just gonna give you anything you want. He's like a genie. He'll just give you whatever your heart desires. See, God's not just gonna give you any desire that you have in your heart. But really, if you take delight in the Lord, if you enjoy spending time in his presence, if you are excited to grow closer to Jesus, he will change your heart. I've learned a lot even in the past few years since that really defining moment in my first year of college. Life isn't always easy, but God does promise to be with us through it. And so even when I walk through hard things with friendships or relationships, I saw how God was just present with me and drew me closer and taught me things. And even in this last year of teaching, first grade, it's hard, it's not always easy, and that has been something that is really difficult to walk through, even as a Christian. It's easy to think that life's just gonna be better because you have God, and it is better, but it's just not always easier. And so I think I've learned to continue to trust God even in the hard moments, and I'm just confident that he is not gonna stop working in me. He's not gonna stop helping me look more like him as I pursue my walk with him.
Hey, my name's Jake Hill. I help creatives make the best videos possible for their church. And if you like that video, I actually have an entire other video right here for free on YouTube showing my entire process for making that video. So I'll link that down in the description. You can check it out. Thanks for watching.